Here's a fictionalized true crime-style story based on the real cold case of Jane Jordan, whose 1977 murder remains unsolved. I'll weave in real facts as known, but dramatize to make it story-like. The Murder of Jane Jordan, a Toledo cold case, 1977. In the crisp Ohio autumn of October 1977, the quiet corridors of the Lakeview Shores apartment complex in Maumee hid a terrible secret. Jane C. Jordan, a 31-year-old mother of two, worked as a material handler at the Jeep plant in Toledo. According to reports, she had not come to work for 3 days. Concerned, her foreman at the plant asked one of her co-workers, Robert Till, to check on her. Robert, uneasy, recruited another co-worker, Raymond Luce Jr., and together they made their way to Jane's apartment at 2039 Key Street. When they arrived, something felt off. The hallway smelled stale, and Jane's door was shut, but not locked. With trepidation, Robert and Raymond entered and found her body. In the crisp Ohio autumn of October 1977, the quiet corridors of the Lakeview Shores apartment complex in Maumee hid a terrible secret. Inside the apartment, the two men discovered Jane in her tub, seated with her back against the wall, her legs stretched out over the edge. Her head was turned awkwardly toward her shoulder. There were blood smears on the walls. Investigators later described a violent struggle. According to cold case documentation, there was water in the toilet, stained or tinted as though mixed with blood. 2 knives were found, one broken, lying in or near the tub, another, oddly, bent. 2 broken lamps, signs of a scuffle. There were lacerations to her head and body, suggesting she'd been beaten as well as stabbed. Yet, conspicuously, there was no sign of forced entry. No broken door, no window smashed. Neighbors later said they heard nothing. In the era before cell phone videos or constant neighborhood surveillance, few people noticed anything out of the ordinary. Beyond her work at the Jeep plant, Jane Jordan had ties to a spiritual group, the Crusade of Love, led by Carlo F. Summer, a figure who was part hypnotist, part preacher, part cult leader. Summer and his followers had a presence in Northwest Ohio in the 1970s, and some have speculated that her association with this group may have played a role in her death. Her children were not in the apartment that day. They were out of town, staying with relatives. Beyond her work at the Jeep plant, Jane Jordan had ties to a spiritual group, the Crusade of Love, led by Carlo F. Summer, a figure who was part hypnotist, part preacher, part cult leader. When Maumee police arrived, they initially thought it might be a suicide, but very quickly, given the nature of the injuries and the scene, they ruled it a homicide. The Lucas County Coroner's Office and the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, BCI, made their way to the apartment to collect evidence. Over the decades, the case grew cold. Jane's death haunted her surviving family and her community. Her son, now grown, kept asking, "Who killed my mother, and why?" Over the decades, the case grew cold. Jane's death haunted her surviving family and her community. Her son, now grown, kept asking, "Who killed my mother, and why?" In 2023, Maumee police reopened the investigation. They cited a plea from Jane's family, especially her son, on the 45th anniversary of her death. Investigators are asking the public for help, especially anyone who lived near or at 2037 or 2039 Key Street in fall 1977, worked with Jane at the Jeep plant during that time, had associations with the Crusade of Love or Carlo Summers followers. Evidence from the case, including what was stored by Maumee PD, has been resubmitted to BCI labs for modern forensic analysis. They're hoping that today's advances in DNA testing might uncover something that was not possible in the 1970s. Why was there no forced entry if the attack was so brutal? Did Jane know her killer? The presence of 2 knives, one broken, another bent, suggests a desperate, chaotic confrontation. Some investigators have speculated that the murder could have been personal, not random. Her connections with the Crusade of Love raise the question: did someone from her spiritual circle hurt her? Or did she threaten to leave, or to expose something? Then there's the question of her death sitting undiscovered for days. How could no one check on her earlier? Her job attendance was the red flag. She missed 3 days. But But what if someone knew or didn't care? Why was there no forced entry if the attack was so brutal? Did Jane know her killer? The presence of two knives, one broken, another bent, suggests a desperate, chaotic confrontation. Some investigators have speculated that the murder could have been personal, not random. Her connections with the Crusade of Love raise the question: did someone from her spiritual circle hurt her? Or did she threaten to leave, or to expose something? Jane's children lost their mother. Her family endured decades without answers. For 45+ years, this was not just a cold case, it was an open wound. The reopening of the case brought a renewed, painful hope. Her son and other relatives have spoken publicly. They just want justice. For Jane. Detective Christopher Rutledge of Maumee PD has said publicly that if the killer is still alive, they need to know. We're still looking. A brutal crime. The violence of the murder, multiple stab wounds, broken lamps, blood smeared, points to rage, not a simple break-in. No obvious suspect. No one was charged, despite early investigations by BCI. Cold but persistent. The case has been reopened multiple times. The family has never given up. Potential cult link. Her ties to Carlos Sommer's Crusade of Love complicate the picture. A secretive, charismatic spiritual group could hide a lot. But also, people from that world might still be around, or have knowledge. Modern hope. With forensic science advances, there is renewed optimism.